slowly spin it around 360 degrees around you. I want you to surround yourself with a bubble, y'all. And I want you to slowly start it with your mind as it spins in the room that you're sitting in. And I want you to see that ball around you getting brighter. And I want you to expand that light to it's 1 inch away from your body, 2 inches.
It honestly sounded like something out of a horror movie. A 2-year-old found alone in only a t-shirt, soiled diaper, barefoot, at an apartment complex in Malamar, Florida. His young mother missing, last seen with a 39-year-old man that refers to himself as a witch. In my other videos, I touched a little on why I thought that Lelia would end up back with Shannon Ryan. This is my observation only. I don't want to leave anything out. I mentioned in some ways she reminded me of my younger self. When I had my son on my hip too, people thought that I wasn't going to be the best mother that I could be. But the only difference was that I was given a chance. Shannon Ryan was quick to say that Lelia had no one in her life. Her sister had put her out, even suggesting that Lelia's very own parents had sexually abused her, a claim that he says Lelia said, but quickly added that Lelia was a liar. He, in his hour-long video, said that no one was looking for Lelia until they seen Camden on social media and the news, asking, did anyone know where his mother was? News sources reporting that the mother had abandoned this child. When Lelia's family got wind of this story, they wondered why she was even in Florida. But they were on their way to get Camden and to find out where Lelia was. She would have never parted from her child. And this was not only her second time there, but this was her third time and seeing the same man. Why didn't her family know that she was in Florida? A lot of people had said that on social media. Lelia was 21 years old. Even though she was still very young, when you're at that age, you are considered yourself an adult. Legally, no question asked. Plus, she was a young mother taking care of her son the best way that she could. Remember, I said some of her decisions weren't the best ones, but they were the ones that she made. Those of us that were older, we remember these moments when we were out somewhere being an adult and we didn't want our parents to know anything. I mean, perhaps she was texting and calling. Or maybe she was even upset a little bit with certain family members. It's okay to be upset. But she thought that she had time. Those of you that are very young, you may feel like you want this privacy and that no one needs to know everything that's going on in your life. But she felt safe with and around Shannon. She wasn't afraid of him. Remember, Shannon said that they met that night during a rainstorm and he let her come in after finding out a friend had abandoned her at a store with all her belongings and she had nowhere to go. She ended up with him learning witchcraft. Unfortunately, we have to take his word on it. I mean, it's somewhat believable. I mean, she was there. She was there a little over a month, and then she left with things that didn't belong to her, including his Maine Coon cat. He said Lelia came back again and acted as if nothing happened. He finally exploded when she wouldn't ask where the cat was. And she was fond of this cat. She slept with this cat. There were tears, there were yelling and screaming, but she said she didn't take anything. But Leela and her son were staying there again. He says he manifested her this car, and the two left for the second time. And again, she stole. He said big bottles of oils and crystals had came up missing. He called Leela and told her that he wanted his belongings. She said she didn't have anything. He tells her that he's going to put a hex on her if she doesn't return his things. The hex would consist of her remaining homeless, and everyone around her would want to take her son. I need to add, that's not a hex. He knew that this was Leela's life at this time. He had said that Leela told him that CPS had a case on her. So this was her reality. So this was far from a hex. If you listen to his videos, he's bitter. He's salty. Leela had stolen from him, and he claims that he has done a lot for her, and he really didn't deserve this. Though the two still kept in contact over the phone after Leela left for that second time, he says that she's homeless and that she's staying with a man that she had just met. So she also tells him that that manifested car, she had turned that in and got a truck. He wanted that truck. She told him that it had minor issues, but he wanted that truck when he saw it. He said that he wanted to go to the Everglades. He could use that truck to go to the Everglades to get supplies for his rituals that he was going to do. He says he offers Leela $3,000 to $3,500 for her truck, but first she has to get there. And now Shannon is in Florida because the apprentice that he had fell ill. He actually says that she was dying in the hospital. However, he planned to wait on her if it meant sleeping in his car or on the beach, sometimes getting a B&B when he could. But he said he didn't have an apprentice right now and he needed somebody. And that the girl that he was waiting on had no family, no friends, just him. And he wasn't going to abandon her. Now, by this time, I did look up this apprentice. Christina Lawson is what he said that her name was. And Christina Lawson did pass in that area. But this woman actually has a husband and 2 small children, if I'm remembering correctly. Remember, Shannon said that Christina had no one. I don't know. I believe that this is probably another Christina Lawson. He told Leela that he wanted her to come to Florida and go to the Everglades with him, and that she was tough and that he knew that she could handle it. So Leela, in Georgia by way of Alabama, decided to go. She was going to help him with his sorcery and would be his apprentice again and continue whatever he was teaching her before. He said that he was going to help her get a place to stay for her and her son, and he knew that that's what she wanted. It's what she needed, and she trusted him that he would help her. So she sold some things of hers on Facebook Marketplace, got a few dollars from an uncle to fund this trip. She needed gas to put in this truck so that she can go to Florida. He said it took her several days to get there, and she was always texting, "I'm on my way. I'll be there. I'll be there." But she arrived on the 26th of July, where there's footage at least 2 times that we could see Leela with and without her son. By the 28th of July, the little boy was wandering around by himself and alone. The police would actually see CCC footage of Shannon's gold Lexus at that same apartment complex, allegedly. The evidence in this case is so overwhelming. I covered it all in the other videos if you're not familiar with it. From Shannon Dragon, garbage of bags to the dumpster. Left in the dumpster was Lela's clothes that she was actually seen on CCC footage, Camden's toys along with bloody paper towels, a bloody shovel, small amounts of blood in Shannon's car and Lela's truck. His Google search of trying to find out when the garbage collectors was going to go to this dumpster at this local gas station that he was at. Ingredients he was searching of how to make chloroform. Receipts of cleaning supplies, trash bags, extra strength duct tape, everything that you need to subdue, control, and harm a person. And him, all over CCC footage. And both of their cell phones pinging in the same areas at the same time. And yet Shannon Ryan pleads not guilty. Thank goodness he didn't physically hurt the baby. I do think about Camden a lot. I did read that right now he is with his family in Alabama. When he gets older and he understands that he was once in the company of a man who referred to himself as a witch and the reason why his mother is no longer here, everyone that knew Lela, her friends, her family, acquaintances, even the witch himself said that Lela loved Camden and she would never abandon him or leave him anywhere. Her family said that she was a good mother. So now Lela's missing. Her son's in CPS custody. The witch is currently free. He's on social media, on his Facebook page. So he is pretty much giving his defense testimony, if you will. But Shannon, this woman, she's missing. And you were the last person with her. You said that over and over again. But however, black guys in a silver Lexus had driven away with her like she did many times before. And you noted with the $3,000 cash that you had given her for her truck that you could not find the title to. Now, at this point, you weren't a friend. And you couldn't at least be a role model. Why weren't you more concerned? A woman who had lived with you, who was about to live with you again. You had to care for her son just a little. You allowed her in her house the first time. You've known her for over a year. But in your hour-long rant, or I'm innocent speech, you basically are throwing her under the bus, even saying, in his words, that she was a crackhead, and that he had given a crackhead $3,000 in cash. He has said horrible things about her and certain family members. I touched all that in the other videos. This is not how a person acts when someone who is around you, who you are friends with, is missing and her son is found a few cities away. Was this premeditated? Did Shannon know from the beginning that he was going to seek revenge and this is how he was going to do it because she had stole from him? So was he going to steal her truck from her because it seems like that's all he wanted? Or is this a totally different circumstance? Allegedly, when Lela and Shannon had stayed in Muscle Shoals, Alabama, a woman that Shannon sometimes refers to him as his wife, she was there in the home as well. So now that the two were alone, meaning Shannon and Lela, did he try to maybe send advances towards her and she rejected him? I mean, Lela is a very pretty girl. Is that what happened? And did he snap or lose his cool? I feel that it was, if it was premeditated, that he would have already had what he needed, meaning the trash bags and duct tape and all that other stuff. Something happened. Something happened late on the 27th of July. Something had happened. Lelia was 5'4", 120 pounds, but she was very petite. Shannon is 6 foot, 200 pounds, and he likes to build his body. He has an attitude, and he does have a rage with him. You can see it through his postings on his Facebook page. And around the time of the disappearance of Lelia, he was posting a lot. He'd even taken off proof that he'd even had knew her. That's something. And that's what he did. But why? Why would you remove her from your page? I'm sure that he had easily overpowered Lelia. But the question is, what did he do with her afterwards? It's been over 2 years now, and still the body of Lelia Cavette hasn't been found. It is so sad that the people who love and care for her are still dealing with this, not knowing where she is. That's not complete closure, and I feel for this entire family. I believe closure and healing will start when Lelia is found and Shannon is going to be put away forever. Lelia's father, Curtis Cavette, he has to go to sleep with the thoughts of his daughter. He said out of his own mouth that he believes that she was chopped up to bits and pieces, thrown in multiple garbage bags, and just discarded. And now her body is somewhere in a landfill that hasn't been found yet. There's absolutely no new information on this horrible situation, and I was really hoping that today would be the day. I am going to do another video, and hopefully this video, I will be telling you how long Shannon will be spending in prison. I was never a follower of Shannon. I believe he may have possessed a little bit of some type of powers, because I know that many people who are given these spiritual gifts, they abuse them. My mother said it's either a gift or a curse when people have these gifts, and it depends on how you use them, which makes you a good or a bad person. There is a legend that says if you were born on Halloween, Hallows Eve, you are afforded protection, personal blessings, and a spirit that thrives in on light and darkness. In other words, good and evil. And this is something that Shannon obviously knew. Today is Halloween. Shannon's birthday. He actually turned 41 years old today. And he is celebrating it right where he belongs, in the Broward County Jail. Justice for Lelia Cavette.
Say I love you. I love you. He said he loves you. No, this is media, right? What do you say? Yeah. Is that him? Yeah. Say I love you.